going on, guys? Bradley Martin here. This is a video a lot of people have asked me. They're like, yo, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? Make a video, talk about this. I want to compete. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I want to hear like why you don't compete, or when are you going to compete next, or whatever, right? So I did a podcast. How long ago was that podcast?
2 weeks ago.
I did a podcast 2 weeks ago. And if you guys don't know about it, there's a YouTube channel that's a video version of this podcast, which I'm going to show you in this next clip, talking about why I don't compete. Okay, straight up, just like raw, just real shit. That's why I don't compete. So if you guys want to watch the rest of this video, stick around and watch this video. The full video, the full podcast is on youtube.com/theculturecast. Is it the culture? Oh no, it's just culturecast. So it's on youtube.com/culturecast. The link will be below. Also below that link, below the YouTube link, will be the iTunes link for the podcast. Because we do a podcast, we post. We're gonna start posting 3 times a week. Because we're Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Wednesday is gonna be the special ones with the girls. So make sure you guys tune in on Wednesday at least if you don't want to come in for all the other stuff. But this video is about why I don't compete. Again, it's a clip from the podcast. Check it out. I hope you guys enjoy it. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell notifications. Bam, come here. Don't look so sad, Bam. You're on YouTube. And just update on Bam. Bam's getting better. See her hands. She got in a fight with her sister. She's getting better. Also, these are out. No, when are you posting this video?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow? No, these are out Friday. BMFIT. So not out yet. They're gonna be out Friday. But make sure you guys check out. Really, seriously. If you guys got to this point, then you're probably like, oh, I could deal with this guy and I can listen to him talk for a little bit. And you didn't skip to the video yet. I appreciate all the support, like sincerely, and I want you guys, if you guys really like videos where I talk, I want you guys to go check out the Culturecast podcast, whether it be on YouTube, the video version, because we got all these cameras in here, so we're filming it, or the iTunes version, which both the links will be below. Seriously, like the podcasting is something I really enjoy, and something I see myself doing in the future, longer than doing YouTube, to be honest with you guys, because YouTube is a little bit, I mean, I'll probably always do YouTube, but I don't know how much I'll be doing it. It really just depends how the platform changes, and I like the whole concept, the whole like the way podcasting is. It's just raw. It's just like, and that's how all our podcasts are. So make sure you guys go check it out. Watch the rest of this clip. You'll see what I'm talking about, and that's it. Love you.
Dude, we're men's physique.
I gotta share one of these stories. I think mine's better than yours
let's
as
hear
far
it.
as this competition goes. 2000. So I was one of the first few competitors, like in the men's physique thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Like literally, I did the first show in Southern California, and I did the first USA's.
Was that Anaheim?
In USA.
Well,
And
I already know where you're going with this, because the person who won that year was probably
okay. So the person who won that year in my class was Nick Garden. He was a trainer at the gym at the 24-hour fitness that I worked at the time. And long story short, my very first show, I got 8th. I just took off my shirt, ate pizza, and got a tan. All right, terrible. Got 8th. I was like, oh, this is what you need to do.
I remember he was eating a block of cheese. He's like,
yeah,
oh,
I was
keto.
It was all stupid. I didn't. Anyways,
I don't think that's how that works.
yeah, definitely not how it works. So this is really good, though.
I think you're doing something wrong, bro.
For sure, I learned a lot since then. Anyways, so I do my second show. I smoke them. I get to San Diego. I'm like, I win, and I win overall. And then I'm like, oh, you're gonna do USA's next week or 2 weeks or something like that, because it was 2 weeks before. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I go to do it. I get second place when they only gave out, because every show after that they gave out 2 pro cards. So that was the very first USA's they gave out 1.
Yeah.
And I got second place. And I'm like people are booing, literally booing, like, and I'm up there like, what the f? Like, and then for like 3-4 months on Facebook, because that was still what was popular at the time, people were messaging me like, man, you got f, like every message, man, you got f, man, you got f, and I was just like, man, I got f. Like, so
you're right.
Yo, so I wasn't popular. Okay. Later on, I started getting more popular on the internet because Instagram started popping. I was the first person with 10,000 followers. People started contacting me. This lady, who's not going to rename names because at this point, Venus something. She's from San Diego. She told me that, oh, the reason why you didn't win is because she had a little physique. She was creating this little physique thing, and Nick was one of her people. And there's nothing wrong with Nick or whatever, right? He stopped competing after that. He just didn't even compete anymore. Yeah. But she said, you didn't win because, like, that was my guy to win, right? And you were in his class. Sorry.
That's that.
And then it came like literally this serious. Yeah. But join my team and like I got you, right? And then I got kind of like, you know what? F this, right? So I think I did like one more show at Miami Nationals, but you don't win because like you're on the East Coast, and if you're on the East Coast, you basically suck East Coast judge or some bullshit, or like fancy pants them, or spend more time on the East Coast and do more shows and pay your dues and all this bullshit that these people talk about, which is ridiculous because it has nothing to do with dues. It has to do with money, and it has to do with business. Because when I started getting popular on the internet, that's when all these motherfuckers like, come do my show.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this shit. You'll win. You come do my show, you'll win. So I went, I did a show, and you better believe, before I walk out on that stage,
Oh, wow.
the guy standing up here, the guy who owns the show, the guy who is the promoter, the show owner, the guy who's the head judge as well, who goes, you're going to win before I come. I look good. I'm not saying I look bad.
Right.
There was guys who could have beat me. Like, I look great. You can be like, oh, yeah, those guys that didn't show up in the top 5, right? So, again, I have pictures. I can show you this. But
Dude, have you told this story before?
never told this story. No.
Oh, my
Wow,
God.
so he told
man.
you won before even.
Absolutely. I'm walking on stage. As I go to walk on stage, he's like, number one. He's in this little booth thing up here. He's like, number one. I'm like, oh, yeah, number one. but anyway, when I did it, I was like, I did look good. And it's not that I didn't deserve it, but it was bullshit.
Right.
So I experienced firsthand, no one gave a about me, even though I looked great and should have won. And everybody's opinion was like, man, you should have won. And then everyone started like, oh, that's the guy with the followers. Like, because if he says, you do the show, then, yeah, the whole idea is like, it used to be magazines and magazine money and promotion money for magazines, right? Dropping bars out here. Anyways, so it used to be like, okay, who's paying the most to this show?
Right.
What sponsors are they? Who are their athletes? Yeah, make sure they win. Now it's like, oh, this mother 1 million followers on Instagram, 300,000, 400,000. Like, shit, we should look. They ask you now, how many followers do you have on the social media? They ask you now.
Of course they know.
That's bullshit. What the does that mean?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So listen,
That's your currency.
now it's just about numbers, because I want to put this in perspective. It's like, if you have some dude with 1 million followers saying, I won this show, and then it's
more
like,
people
more
wanna
kids are going to think, oh shit, Brad competes, he won that show, I need to compete, that's how I can become popular like Brad. So then you go now all the fees are fucking, it started at like 50, now it's like 300 to just be a part of it, to do one show, and it's like 150, maybe 300 now a year to be a part of this organization, to do any shows. So you pay a yearly, and then you pay a showly, and then you pay like a photographer fee if you want your photos for that show, and then you pay like a
different divisions
different.
or different.
It's f***ing bullshit.
Bro.
So it's like, if you pay like, oh, I'm the guy, I win the show. Like, they're only gonna reward people who have followers, so they further their business because it's marketing, because it's a business, because it's a brand.
Bro, it's so.
And it is crazy.
It is beyond crazy and dirty.
And you have so many people who kill themselves. Oh man, I just, they said I gotta get my stage presence better, so I gotta work on my posing. So they're all like this with their and it's crazy to me because they're lying to people.
They are.
Just so they get more money. It's period. Just about money. You got people who are killing themselves, dieting, doing all the drugs, doing all this shit,
creating
killing
metabolic
themselves.
damage, destroying
themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they think, oh, they said I got to be a little bit harder, so like I'm going to do a little bit more cardio, do some fasted cardio, I'm going to do, and it's like, no, they don't give a shit about you.
Right.
That's their reason to tell you, hey, off, we got who we want. Sorry, good luck next time. Maybe if you get 1 million followers, then we'll you.
Dude, I had no idea that you went through all that stuff. So that's your story is literally like my story. I had time. So
Yo, you missed it. I just went off on the. I just went off.
we all know
listen to it
Evo
later.
Gin, and we know that company, and so they like own Sacramento. So that's NorCal for me. So those are the shows. That's the circuit that I would go through.
I want to make one thing really clear. People hear this. I'm not saying though that there aren't competitors who don't deserve to win.
No.
That they don't look great, because
Sure.
I do believe a lot of them look great. But I want the general population to know that there's more, because I don't want people going into a show thinking, or like, I can get popular doing this, or like, this is what I need to do to be popular because that popular guy does it. Like, I built my popularity when I stopped competing.
Right.
Right? And then I focused on building my brand, or what made me me, like focusing on being Bradley Martin, quote unquote, whatever the means. I focused on that and was like, I'm not going to try and make all these people happy. I'm going to try and make myself happy. And I just want to point that out, that I'm not saying that people who win don't deserve to win.
No, there's exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
There's always exceptions.
I'm
to
just
the
saying
rule.
there's just like,
The majority of it, though.
It needs to be said, though.
corrupt.
It needs to be said because a lot of kids enter into this world already insecure, not feeling good about themselves. They get into this world, guys and girls, damage their metabolisms, destroy their hormone levels, take all this crazy gear, thinking that they can continue to progress when, in fact, they probably don't have the genes or whatever. And
you got people filling them with you just need
Horrible.
stage presence, hardness, be drier, whatever it is. And it's really just so they could tell you whatever, so you
they
stop asking
they
them
can give you
questions.
something else to do to get you to come back to another show.
Exactly.
To the point where my very first show, my head was hanging low. I mean, everyone told me I should have won first place. I'll never forget. I'm walking the elevator, and my head's down. Judge walks up behind me, puts my hand, he goes, "Hey, kid, you got a great physique." I said, "Oh, yeah, judges didn't think so." He goes, don't listen to that. Just come back again. And I'm like, what do you mean, just come back again? He's like, no, they told me I was too conditioned. He's like, no. You have a pro physique. You look great, kid. Just come out. They just want to see you more times.
Yeah, it's like, so pay us more. Just pay us some more money.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, that's the thing is like, that's what gets me is like, I get it. It's a business, and I can respect a business. But like when you're abusing, when you're abusing like people's like, because that's the thing, and like everyone knows this. The thing, everyone who competes, they like they know you've heard this. If you compete, pay your dues.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Everyone knows this, and it's like, but no one, everyone's so afraid to talk about like what's really going on because they're like they also don't want to offend the person who's going to judge them next time, and then they go compete. They're going to blackball you. Like they would never let me compete again after saying that. They'll be like, oh, that guy's the devil. He knows the truth. And it's just like, man. But you got these. That's the thing that gets me. You have people who like, oh, but like if I just do this and try a little bit harder, I could be good. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like it's not about that.
Right.
I bet you if you took time and got yourself popular on Instagram, you'd win.
Yeah. Isn't that sad?
That's exactly.
Yeah,
So it's like, are you competing to be popular on Instagram or a physique show? That's why I was like, if I ever compete again, it's going to be in powerlifting. It's going to be something that's like
Something
you did
that's
it
objective.
or you did it.
Like,
Exactly.
you either win or you don't.
Yeah, you made a shot or you didn't. Not like subjective where today we like this and that judge likes this and the East Coast judge like that and the West Coast judge like this. And that's what that whole industry is.
Happy birthday.
Sorry,
Thank
I had
you,
to go
dude.
off on that, bro.
Seeing what these guys went through.
Happy
and, like,
birthday.
like seeing like competitors like you go through over the years. I was always waiting for that. Like, I'm not going to step on stage, so I'm like, and at the time I was still figuring out food and all that. I was like, I'm not going to step on stage, so I'm going to win a show. And just seeing it, what these guys went through and all that. That's also kind of the start of raw powerlifting. Seeing like Stan Efforting break records and this and that. That's what kind of started to get me into powerlifting more than anything.
Yeah.
Was just seeing like people that I would like. These guys are showstoppers. These guys need to win shows. And it's like